I've been rushing. So we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We're not going to do any carving. So I did a lot of carving on Sunday, exactly 5 hours and 50 minutes, and then on the Saturday before, just over an hour. And I've got a few projects I need to finish in the down in the workshop. So tonight I'm going to do a bit of painting. But before I do, I want to say thank you all of you who tuned in to the big carving on Sunday. So that was 10 to 5, was it? And I was carving this. You can see it in the background. The Chesterfield sign went really well. I'll talk a little bit more about it as we're doing today's project. So tonight we're going to be painting a house sign, but a little bit differently. We're going to be not using paint, we're going to be using stone seal. So I'll talk to you as I'm painting. I've got my seal in my pot, got my paint brushes, and I'll chat through it all with you while I'm doing. I'll just spin the camera around. So you recognise this, Tree of Life. I'm on the next stage of the Tree of Life now. So bear with me moving the camera. So what I've got in here is a Thompson's weather seal. It's just in a plastic disposable pot. So it's not a plastic, sorry, cardboard disposable pot, and a cheap paintbrush. So this is all going to come to life at the end of tonight's live. I will show you it all on how it works. But doing it this way, it just gets better and better and better over time. So it's going to, as I paint it on, you're going to see it, but what you have to be really careful with doing this is a little tip for you. Start on the widest point and get used to how the stone, see how it's seeping up. So like when we're painting with the black paint, you want to get right up onto the edges. So you're getting right up onto the edge with a black paint, but we don't want to do that with this seal because it's going to seep into the stone. So this stone has been washed and dried. You watched me carve this a couple of weeks ago. So start off with your widest points and get used to how it's seeping. If I put a piece on there, you're going to see that gradually go up. Just going to change the lighting there so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. So what this will do as it goes on, it's going to dry. It's going to dry really nicely. And what this weather seal does, it obviously protects it from the weather. So this is going to stop any lichen, any moss, anything growing on what we paint with this weather seal. And it'll dry virtually clear. You won't be able to tell it was on. Virtually, only slightly be able to changes the stone colour a little bit, and it dries really quick. And if you can stick around to the end, you'll see the outcome. And what this will do over time in the garden as it weathers up over years and years and years, this is all going to go nice and green and grey, and there's going to be bits of moss growing on it. It's just going to all come to life like stone does as it's sat out in the weather. It's beautiful. But all this, what we're going to paint, all these individual bits of carving are just going to stay perfect stone colour. So it's just going to, everything around it will go lovely, and this will just stay as it is and it will come to life. And I'll give you a little demonstration of that in the end. I will also at the end put a little link of what seal I'm using. So I always start off on the widest point with this, just get my eye back in, get used to it. So no carving, no chipping this week. I've done a lot of chipping, and I've got a lot of chipping to do. Tonight's got a couple of people on. Everyone who joined into the live session on Sunday, so where we were carving the football crest, 5 hours and 50 minutes, and in total in that 5 hours and 50 minutes we had 3,468 people tuning in, which is incredible. And we raised a lot of money for charity, and it's still on sale now, the raffle tickets for that, raising money for that Ernie Moss fund. And the next one we've got coming up, we're going to be raising money for defibrillators in grassroots football, which is a great cause. You'll have to let me know if anyone's been working on any projects this week. New subscriber. That is always nice to have a new subscriber. So let me tell you, if you're new, let me tell you a little bit about the channel, and anyone else who's joining in for the first time. So it's called TheStoneRanger. You'll know that bit already. There's over 150 videos on the channel, all about carving stone, painting your stone after you finish it, looking after your stone. Lots about dry stone walling, how to learn how to dry stone wall. The carving stone, that's anything from carving yourself a simple number for your own house using tools you'll find around the house, to professional tools you can buy. Some we've got discount codes for shops if you're wanting to buy some tools, and then right through to carving big projects, big bird bass water features, all different stuff what we've shipped around the world. Some really unique ways of going about things. If you've not got any materials to hand what you think you can use, and there's some videos on the channel we're showing you what you can use. Like if you've got some old roof slates, there's a video on there of how to piece them together, turn them into a house sign and carve them, so you're carving a solid lump of slate. There's some really popular videos on there, all the different tools you're going to need. And every Wednesday night, like tonight, we meet at 7. Must admit, I was a couple of minutes late tonight. I can blame the line manager for that. Yeah, so we meet every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. And we're normally carving, but it's normally stone related, carving, painting. People sending pictures of what they've been working on that week. And we've got a great community. There's some great people. I was saying this on the channel on Sunday when we had all the people from Chesterfield on, saying the actual StoneRanger community is great. We have people coming on for advice. Everyone's really friendly and helpful, supportive. There's people showing what they've been up to. Young Tom sent me a picture today, yesterday, of his house sign he started, and I was saying he wouldn't have even known where to begin if it wasn't for the channel and the videos, and now he's really looking forward to going home that night and do some carving. He might even be doing some now. He's on. He's there, look. He's finished his sign and he's doing some painting. There we go. And what colour are we painting it? So I'm looking forward to showing you this at the end here. Done this a few times on projects, and I never even thought about doing this on this project until one of my subscribers, who's obviously watched one of my other videos of me doing this, said, why don't you paint it with a seal? I'm hoping Kevin's going to come on later. He's not been very well. He sent me a message, or he put a comment on a community post saying Not been very well this week. No carving for Kevin this week, which is disappointing. So you happy with the outcome, Tom, of your first ever sign you've carved? And you're going to be doing more. Is everybody getting a new house sign for Christmas? I feel like I'm just settling into my rhythm. It's Wednesday, so normally I get home on a Wednesday night, 5:30 at the latest. A cup of tea, walk the dogs, have some tea, think about what I'm going to say on the live, think about doing it for. Today I walked in the house at 6:10. It was my turn to cook tea, so I made us some burgers. So they were ready at 7:15. So I've just rushed them down to get down here. Halfway through a cup of coffee, and I feel like I'm just settling in now to this evening's live, doing this painting on here. Don't like rushing like that. I had to have a little meeting last thing at work. Never nice. Oh, Tom's got the bug. What type of paint, if you don't mind me asking, Tom, did you use to paint this sign? The only reason I'm asking is because I'm halfway through editing a video about the paint I use. You know, I ran back up as well before I pressed go live on the channel because I thought, oh, I forgot my safety specs. So at the end of carving, I always seem to still be on my head, so I go up into the house with them on. I don't even need them tonight. Yeah, Hamrite. So yeah, Hamrite is a good choice, but next time you do buy some paint, if you watch this next video, the next video is great. I started off using Hamrite, it's really good, but it can be a little bit, you're pushing it around rather than painting with it. You want something that runs nice and nice and free. So this next video, which hopefully I'll have done tomorrow. Well, I definitely will have it done tomorrow. I've got the day off. The only reason I didn't do it last night is because me and the wife went out for some food and to watch a comedian. Have you ever heard of Miles Jupp? He was Archie the Inventor in Balamory. So I went to watch him last night on the stand-up. He was hilarious. Really, really, really good. I would recommend him. I was a little bit blown away when I realised that we'd have 3,500 people tune in on Sunday. And it's gone up now. A few people have tuned in afterwards. Incredible. 3,500 people. Somebody said to me, that's more than go to some sporting event. So another tip I'll give you on here is so this was washed and dried, but then yesterday, because I knew I was doing this, I gave it a spray bottle just to dampen it back up, and then that's dried again today, but it's not dried like it was before. It was so dry, so it's not, when I'm touching it with this seal, it's not going and it's going everywhere and it's sucking it away. I've got a little bit more control over it because I put that bit of dampness on it yesterday, because it's been in the workshop and I don't think it's got above 6-7 degrees today. It's not been cold. I've been working up on Bradwell Moor, not that many of you will know where that is, but it's not been cold, but it's not drying stuff out too quick. I do feel like spring is in the air though. It's on its way. Liam's on. Hi Liam. I don't know what happened when we first went live. I don't know if any of you noticed or if any of you are on, but we shot up to 85 people watching within the first minute. I wonder, must just have had YouTube must have just been feeling kind for that first minute there. We're back to our regulars now. So I don't know if any of you follow me on Instagram or even Facebook. It's So I've just started this idea of, so I've got lots of projects in the pipeline to do, but I've got no ambition to charge people for them, and I really enjoy doing the charity bits. But I like the idea of doing a trade, not for the charities, just when people want something. So people have been reaching out to me, can I have a price for this, can I have a price for this, and it kind of puts me off when I've got to quote for them, just because I spent 15 years of working out prices and quotes and profits and stone cost and all the bits that go with business. And I don't like it. I've got no ambition really to sell anything for money. So I've got this idea for trading. So I put a bit of a post out yesterday saying, anyone who's up for a trade, here's a few pictures of stuff I can do. If you want to trade something, send me a message. Well, today, trading for stone carvings, I've had a hamper with candles in. This is if I want to, it's up to me. A hamper with candles in. I mean, who don't like a candle? So you never know there's going to be a power cut. I'm tempted with that. They want their logo carving for the candle business called Horizon. Quite a nice, simple logo, but the font's really nice, so I'm tempted to carve that. The next one was a spa, temple spa. So that's some spa treatment. Again, who don't love a spa day? The next one was some knitting. I'm not knocking knitting, but my mum's a knitter, so I'd feel a bit bad if I took knitting from somebody else. Plus it's itchy. And the next one was, oh, this is my favourite one, a hamper with cheese, full of different cheeses. Yeah, that was definitely getting a thumbs up. I don't even know what they want me to carve. Well, I'm on it, I'm having that one. And then there was one more. Oh, a gin company. I'm talking to a gin company who make their own gin. And that logo for them is quite... There's a lot... It's not hard, there's just a lot there. But I really like the idea of that one. It's probably the one I'm most excited to carve. When I came up with the idea, I was thinking, right, going out for a steak dinner. Someone's going to trade me a steak dinner to make them a new house sign, or carve the logo for the pub or the restaurant, or I'm not going to pay for an MOT for 2 years because the garage is going to want this stone carving. I wasn't really thinking about a new pair of mittens. I do like a scarf. Who was it who sent me a message saying the painting the signs is more time consuming and more difficult than carving the signs? And that can be true. So some people would paint this whole piece of stone, or where the design is, and then rub it off after with like a polishing machine. I think you lose some of the detail. It goes into the stone, you lose some of the detail if you're not careful at polish. You can take the edges off. I've seen so many people carve letters, paint it on, and then take it off with a polisher, and the edge of that little flip they've got in the teeth, it's gone, and it looks awful. I like to take my time and paint them in. You get a better quality finish. But I do, when you're doing it with the slate, you can do that because the slate, as long as the slate's polished down to a nice thing in the first place, you can rub it off. It's just the stone's gritty. And it go in here, so you'd have to give it a bit extra, and then that's when you start losing your your fine details. And when I'm doing it with slate, I try to do it by hand with wet and dry. So I'm rubbing it off, working my way through the grit. It's actually surprisingly cold now. I think my fingers are feeling cold. I suppose it's about 3 degrees. It has forecast a little bit of snow. I can't really make my mind up how much. I can't make my mind up if it's just people getting a bit excited and getting a bit carried away, or it's actually going to snow. Finish that coffee up. Let's crack on. It's nearly been half an hour already. I've had some lovely feedback from some of the projects we've been doing for people recently. So I got a phone call from a guy today from Burnley who got sent a link to this Chesterfield carving, asking if I'd be interested in doing one. A Burnley Football Club one. Burnley, not Burnley. Burnley Football Club carving. What they can raffle off. But he couldn't get his head round while I was doing it for free. What's in it for me? He was trying to find a catch. And the only way I could explain to him, I said, when the day comes and I get 10 pearly gates, I want to have something in the bank to be able to cash in. Plus, it's such a nice feeling doing stuff for free. But I am after a bit of that cheese. Is that the mushroom man on, I can see? Not sure if Tom's still on, but if Tom is on, you'll have to get, if he lives at Abney, I'm sure he said he lived at Abney, you'll have to get yourself round to Jonathan Slater, see if you can carve him a sign. Or Chadwick, is it Andrew Chadwick? definitely a more peaceful evening tonight. I'll do it all again tomorrow though. Quite looking forward to next time. So don't forget, if you are tuning in, stick a thumbs up on. Always helps. YouTube just like it. YouTube like it. If you stick a thumbs up on, it means they think I'm doing a good job, whether I'm doing a good job or not. Which means they'll share the channel with other people and the audience will grow. And if you know anybody who wants to do a trade, send them my way. Well, so if Andrew Chadwick neighbours your field, then about, what will it be now? 7 years ago, I built 50 metres of wall for Andrew Chadwick. So I might have had to cross your field. Graham nipped in to say hello on the live Sunday to show his support, and he was on the beach. He said the waves were that loud he couldn't hear us. It was the waves were crashing against his feet, but he said he just enjoyed watching. Definitely call in and have a look. I go through Abney a little bit with work. I've not been up there today, but I do go up quite a bit, and I work over at Lady Wash a little bit. I'll tell you a little story about Andrew Chadwick. We were building the wall for him, and he'd, for some reason, about 10 years before, he'd buried a load of stone in his field. And we were short on stone, short of copers mainly, and he decided he was going to start digging this stone up. And I thought he was going to get a machine to dig it up, and he started going at it with a pick. And he was digging in the field. It was slippy. It was at the bottom of the hill, so it was straight across from his. So if you know it, Tom, if it was straight across from his house, and he was looking away up the field. We were building the wall straight down the middle. We had to go like up and round. I think his brother-in-law's. We had to go through his brother-in-law's piece of land to get to it. And he was digging away with for this stone to find us some copers, which was mental because we needed about 60 metres worth of coping stones. And I turned round and he was digging with this mattock, and the end of the pick on the mattock, it kind of came loose as he was dragging it. It hit him square in the forehead and he went clean down. It was just gone on the floor. And I was so nervous to go over to see if he was alright. I thought this pick, the end of his mattock, the pick end of it, was going to be sticking out of his forehead. I thought he was going to die. He was fine. He jumped up. You know what it's like. He had his shirt on and he jumped up. And he didn't really laugh it off, but he was a little bit embarrassed. But wow, he could have been in a, that could have been a disaster. Him and his wife, nice people though. I enjoyed working for them. Can I say Charlie, please? What? He's definitely a one-off. Can I say Charlie, please? Is that say hi to Charlie? Is that... Oh, Charlie, that's... It's not... My nephew's called Charlie. I'm used to saying the name Charlie. You'd expect it to say, can you say hello, Charlie? Or happy birthday, Charlie. Maybe Charlie can put a thumbs up on the video. It doesn't take, like, I'm sorry, I was just reading that comment from Tom there. It doesn't take a lot of paint. I mean, I've been so much paint over the years of where I've poured it into a pot and then I'm painting away and thinking, well, what am I going to do with that now? And you decant it back in, but it's I obviously lose a bit stuck on the sides. No, you definitely don't need a lot of paint. I once painted a house sign with silver hammerite, so I spent ages carving it on slate. And the silver hammerite is so much looser, and when you've got your hand over it, you just smudge. God, it was horrendous. It smudged absolutely everywhere. Horrendous stuff. I had to go and buy a tub of hammerite thinners, which smells like pear drops, but they only had a massive tub of it, so I had to buy like £40 worth of hammerite thinners to clean this sign. Slowly got through it. It was but no, be careful of the silver stuff. Actually, that Castleton, that that sign I'm on about, Tom's in Castleton, on near the Swiss Tap, is it called? Getting them roots painted nicely. Wonder if not sure if the Mushroom Man's still on, but I wonder what he's been working on. He said the other day he's been working on some millstones. I'll tell you another one. This didn't come in as a message, that's why I didn't remember it. So I was telling somebody at work today about this trading, and I showed them a few carvings, and they said, can they commission me to do their family crest for their mum and dad for Christmas? Which I don't mind doing that. I'm happy to do that. And in return, they want to take me on a guided trip up Kilimanjaro. I think I might need some training before I did that. Pretty cool though. He used to do expeditions. That was his job. He was a guide. He's been up 5 times. I'd give it a go. If that opportunity come up, I'd definitely give it a go. And that's a proper trade. Getting a guy to take you up Kilimanjaro and return you to their family crest. That's a bit of me. That's a proper trade. I would definitely have to do some training. I mean, I get a bit scared of heights going on the top floor TK Maxx. It's worth it though for them drop down prices. Notice Liam's is either back on or he's still on. He might be doing bedtime. Last time we were on, he said he had me playing in the background while he was doing bedtime for little lad. Not that little anymore, he's growing up fast. Mushroom Man's out listening. Presume's out walking the dog. Kev can't make it. Kev's poorly. People will be tuning in and thinking, why is he painting that tree of life with water? So I've got another brush. I've got a smaller brush that, as we get into more detailed areas, we'll use. But at the minute, this one's working well. And I've said a few times about what brushes I use. I'm not using the most expensive brushes in the world, but also don't bother with the cheapest. If you can buy like a kit for $1.99, $2.99 of 10 brushes, don't bother. You need something that holds that nice shape. Something you can, if you need to with the paint on, you can pinch it and it fans out like that. So you can get into the corners, like that focusing, you can get into the corners. Don't bother with the really cheap ones. So I'm buying these here, and these are, I think, a pack of 5 for, I think they've gone up slightly. Well, everything's gone up slightly. It might be $4.50. And you can wash them, you can clean them, but they're never as good, because obviously the stone's abrasive, so it's wearing them. And for that price, if you're doing it for yourself, you can handle that. If you're doing it for a customer, work it into your price. You could do a big job and you could go through 2 packets. You've got lots of painting, a few hundred letters, you go through a few paintbrushes, but just work it in, work the price in. Hobbycraft, that's where I buy them. Every now and again I'll nip in to Hobbycraft and just buy 5 or 6 packets. There we go, I'm concentrating. When you're concentrating doing a job like this, there's always going to be a few awkward silences. So I've ordered a couple of bits for myself for the I've ordered myself a new hammer, and it's, well, on the pictures it looks beautiful. Looking forward to showing you that. And then what else have I ordered myself? I've ordered some new polishing pads because I've got a bit of a few jobs to do on slate. What I want to do, so I like to polish the slate from a 50 grit up to 1500, and even then I'd like to just run some wet and dry over it and really make it nice and fine. So I've ordered some new ones of them. Looking forward to using. I did have some new chisels the other day. I don't know if any of you saw the review on that chisels I did. It was £15.59 for 4 of them chisels. I mean, they're not the same as you get from Southern Stone Limited, don't get me wrong, because they're great chisels, professional chisels, what you can use all day long. But then £15.59 ones, if you're tight on a budget, or you want to have some, you just want to buy some as extras or spares, or just to use, fantastic really for the price. And then Santa was on, one of the members of the channel, or subscribers of the channel, I must say, not a member, was on the other day and reckoned to beat the price. So they couldn't buy them in the States, they wouldn't deliver to the States. So they reckon they bought some for like $5. So I'm intrigued to see what they're like. Oh, the sign outside Brookside Farm, yeah, and I did 2 for them. So they've got one on the front near Wardley Myers. I drove past it today. Similar size to this, a border on it, painted, Brookside Farm, and the one round the corner, same design. I forget what the one round the corner says on it. I've done a few at Wardley Myers. To be honest, you must have drove past lots and lots of my work. Living in the valley, there's a lot of it about. I'm trying to think if there's any at Abney. Sure there is. There's a lot of walls at Abney I've built. I'm trying to think of a sign at Abney. Lots in Haversige. Well, you've seen all them carvings on the floor in Haversige, and that Jubilee stone on the heart of Haversige. I did all them, built the walls there, did all them carvings. What's in Grindleford, house signs. You'll be able to, if you've noticed that one's one of mine, that's because you notice my style of lettering and my style of carving, so you'll be able to pick them out. carvings all done. Looking forward to seeing some pictures. Definitely be looking out for it next time over there. Drive through in the minibus or the work truck. Some volunteers might go that way around. So we can have a look at it. I wonder what that was all about. People saying, can you say, Charlie, I'm always a bit nervous about stuff like speaking to someone going to put like on The Simpsons, see more butts. Can you say see more butts, please? And I'm gullible enough to do it and then go afterwards think, oh God. I was saying a minute ago, I feel like spring's in the air, and I've started looking out on Peak Park land when I'm at work for bits of walls what are down, what I can repair, I can do in an evening, or just so I can do a live video. There's a night drawer out on a Wednesday night, we can go walling together live. Just break it up a little bit for your carving, even though there's lots to do, with some really cool projects you're going to like. We'll go out walling together. Take the camera. I feel like I've got my eye in a bit now. Picking up the pace for this. It's going to be very wintry tomorrow, he says. Liam, apparently so, I'm not sure. The problem is I've fallen for it so many times when people tell me it's going to snow. I don't want to commit myself because I love a snow day. It's my day off anyway. But I'm working all weekend walling down in Staffordshire, teaching a walling group. So I've got tomorrow off. But if it snows, straight up on standing with the dogs. That'll be really nice. If I had a piece of stone pred, I could do a bit of carving, couldn't I? There's always lots I want to do. But I do love a snow day. know, there was something, someone told me that it was 20 degrees one day last week in Scotland. It's a village in Scotland. 20 degrees. A nice drawing, whatever that is. So that is a tree of life, Jacob, and it's not a drawing, it's a stone carving. We're just painting it. So we've carved it out on this piece of stone using hammer and chisel, and now we're painting it with a stone seal. So over the weeks, months, years, everything around this is going to weather up lovely in green and greys and browns and all the loveliness what stone does when it's outside. But the tree of life is going to stay like new stone. If you want to stick around to the end of the live, I'm going to show you what it'll do. Yeah, it's just, so we've got, what have we got? Let me show you. It's crazy that we made that. So we've got hammer and chisels, marked it on a piece of stone, chiseled it out, and then we've now we're painting it. If you like the channel, you can learn how to do it yourself. There's lots of tutorials on there. There's lots of videos about all the tools you're going to need. Some people who have never carved anything before in their life stumbled across the channel, liked the idea of it, had a go, and now they like stone carving. I just fancied a little break this evening from carving stone, but also I like the idea of getting this finished and then it's outside. It's outside starting to take shape, weather in and get all lovely. Well, it's sandstone, it's not sand. Well, it's called gritstone actually. It's called Derbyshire gritstone, but it's a little bit tighter grain than you get your classic gritstone. This isn't the best example actually. The carving we did on Sunday was really tight, really lovely piece of stone. But no, it's called Derbyshire gritstone. I do like making a sandcastle though when I'm at the beach, like a proper one. It's got to have a castle, it's got turrets, it's got to have a moat, it's got to have little flags in it. could I explain what I'm doing? Maybe Brian missed that. So I'm painting. So I said, like I said at the beginning, and then a little bit. I think I've said it a couple of times, but what I'm going to do, I'm painting all this here with stone seal, which I've got in this pot. So as I paint it in, over time, everything around it is going to weather up, and it'll go brown, green, grey, and all the tree of life is just going to stay the natural stone colour. So it'll gradually pop out, and it'll really come to life. So it's hanging up on the wall outside or propped up in the garden. It'll look great. And I didn't originally plan to do this. So I originally planned I was going to paint it green. It's like that, sage green. I like sage green. That's what I was originally going to do. And then one of the subscribers who'd watched one of my videos before of me doing this said, why don't you do this? So I thought, yeah, good idea. And like I said, big tip is don't have the stone. So you've got to wash it, dry it, but then don't have it super dry. So last night I put this back on the side and I sprayed it with a little just, what do you call it? Like a little sprayer, I forget what do you call it? A spray bottle. Wow, that took some finding. A little spray bottle, just to dampen it, and then it stayed down here in the workshop all night and all day, and it's been cold enough that it's not really taking all the moisture out, because if it was too dry it'd just suck it away. And it'd go everywhere. You try and paint these bits in it, it'd just go everywhere. And it's finding that balance of painting with it anyways can be a little bit tricky. How do I get my name in green? Liam. So I think that's all the roots and all the branches painted. Now let's paint some leaves. Disappointing, I just looked in my coffee cup, it's all gone. I'll start here, work my way through. I was going to move down the size of the brush, but I think I'm going to be alright. I'm going to try this. I think I'm going to be alright. It seems to be working quite well. Got a tricky one next week. So next week is Wednesday night stone carving live, 7 o'clock. It's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day. And I think I'd like to take my lovely wife out for a meal. So I might suggest we do some Wednesday night stone carving live at 7 o'clock on a Thursday. Or we could always even do it at the weekend. As much as I don't like letting you lot down, definitely don't want to let the wife down. Plus, I presume all you lot will be busy with your partners. If you haven't got a partner, maybe it's the night to go out and find one. What's Liam doing? Cooking our lass. Yep, I'll give you. Well, I'll text you later. Right. See what the weatherman says. And enjoy your cooking. I've had that strange thing happening. I've just looked at the screen with some of the bits of information there. I was reading that from Liam. We've had that strange thing happening where we're jumping up for 4 or 5 subscribers. Not subscribers, people watching to like 95. That's strange. We'll definitely go back to carving next week though. As much as I like finishing the projects and I like painting them and I like getting them done, I like the carving the most. We're getting there, we're motoring along. There's Robert Webster. That's the first time we've seen his name on the chat. Saying hello to the mushroom man. That's the Candle Man and the Mushroom Man. I wonder if the Candle Man's hoping for a snow day. Did Bob even, I was going to say Robert Webster then, but Bob. Did Bob tune in on Sunday? Watching us carving? I actually called down to say hello to you, Bob, on, what day was it I called down now? Monday. Called down Monday to see if you're around. I couldn't see you. About 4 o'clock. When I get to the end of this, I'll nip up, get the hair dry, quickly dry the bits what need drying, and I can show you what will happen when it's outside. It's been a nice, pleasant evening of painting though. Or painting the seal on. I just need to again, if you're only just tuning in or you're watching this back later on, like I know some of you do, thanks for the support on Sunday. It was really nice and comforting knowing with all them thousands of people that were watching, or over time, the different times watching, knowing I could look down on the comments every now and again and see some familiar names. And now some of you had gone out of your way just to drop in, say hello, check on it, and because it was over nearly 6 hours, you came back on and said keep up the good work, and put a thumbs up on there. So I really appreciate that. There were times when I were carving away and trying to talk, and it was, to be honest with you, carving for 6 hours is not something. It's something I've done loads and loads of times, but doing it while you're streaming it over YouTube is completely different. You can't just walk away and get a drink or stretch your legs, and you're trying to engage with the audience as well, encourage them to sell some tickets, to buy some tickets. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was really nice for us to look down and see so many familiar names on there. Oh no, somebody's retracted a message. What it means. So it's coming together. So Bob will have seen me do this before. Bob spent many hours talking to me. I've been carving signs, painting signs, drinking coffee together. So what I'm doing here is just painting some seal on the carving rather than leaving it blank or painting it of a colour. And the painting this seal, which will dry. This is nearly dry, it's not quite there yet, but you can see it's not left too much of a stain on it because it's a clear seal. But what will happen over time as this goes outside in the garden, everything around this is going to weather up lovely. Greens, browns, lichen, moss. You can encourage it by painting it with bits and bobs. Everything we've painted with this tonight, it's not going to grow any of that. It's going to stop it. Which over time then, it's going to really pop out and look lovely. And at the end of this video, I'm going to imitate what it'd be like as all the stone goes darker. Just show you. Won't be the final result because obviously I can't put 6 or 7 years worth of natural weather on the stone, but I can give you a rough idea of how it'll work. And this is probably costing to the seal cost wise to do this, probably, I don't know, like 10 pence. Well, if people think it looks really cool, stick a thumbs up on it. Maybe even subscribe to the channel and you can have a go at carving the tree of life yourself. There's lots of videos on there, tutorials, different tools you're going to need. Showing you don't need to spend a lot of money. You can do it for just with stuff you got lying around the house to make a house sign, or really in-depth details about different stones to use, marking out your stone, chiseling your stone. There's even videos with discount codes on for buying tools. There's dry stone walling videos, painting videos, and every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, that's UK time, we do 2 hours of stone carving or finishing a project, what this is, together. Yeah, for a couple of hours every Wednesday night, which is nice. And the community's growing lovely. We're up to 4,300 and odd subscribers. 360 maybe. And we gained one more tonight. I think it might have been Jill. Was it Jill? Right at the beginning of the evening came on and said she's a new subscriber. This might be the last leaf. So what I'm going to quickly go and do while you all subscribe to the channel or put a comment in below, maybe even a thumbs up, I'm going to quickly go and run and get the hairdryer to dry it. 2 minutes. That was a bit like Kilimanjaro training. Back. Did I manage it in 2 minutes? Okay, it's going to get noisy for a second. So I think we're good. Yeah, so I think we're good there. So Bob's just saying he's having a day off tomorrow, and I've got the day off tomorrow, so maybe I'll go and have a coffee with Bob. Even if it's snowing, I can go and have a coffee with him. So this is it. So you've painted all this, you've used your stone seal, and like I said, I'll put I'll put a link for what stone seal I've used in the description for this video when I finish the live. You've carved all your sign, you've washed it all, you've slightly dampened it off the night before, and you've painted it with your stone seal. So you're going to put this outside, and what's going to happen is it's all going to weather up all lovely and nicely in green and browns and bits of greys, lichen and moss all over it. But what we've done here, this is all going to stay light. So if it all goes well now, I'm going to spray this with my water bottle, and it should give you a little demonstration of how it'll go. Fingers crossed. So if I bring you around, you can see that. Can you see that everything we've just painted has just stayed light? So all this, not taking any of the dampness, repelled it off with the seal, so that'll all stay light. So what will happen now, all this is going to get damp, and it's going to go all lovely outside, and this is just going to stay, and it's just going to pop. Does that make sense? Perfect. Well, I finished 25 minutes early tonight, which is great for me, because it means I've got 25 minutes to go and finish editing another video. So thank you all for watching. It'll be straight back to stone carving next week. I've kind of missed stone carving tonight, actually. Like the one of the subscribers, tippy tappy 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 tippy all night long. But now, take these gloves off. I've enjoyed that. I hope you have. Hope you'll give that a try. And I'll see you all next Thursday, not Wednesday. It's Valentine's Day, remember. See you all next Thursday. Thanks for watching.